and we are live. If you are on LinkedIn, please let us know that you're hearing us. We're also on YouTube, so I can send you a link to that stream if you're having any problems with LinkedIn. Hi, Brian Sommer on the road. How you doing, Brian?
Pretty good, John. I'm actually logging in Anderson, Indiana, and it has no connection to Arthur Anderson or Anderson Consulting. I did enough time with those 25
Wait,
years
you're not
ago.
trying to get your old job back? Damn.
No. I've tried, but they don't want me. So what can I say?
Well, welcome to the ranks of the officially unemployable, Brian. Glad to have you alongside. This is a month in review like no other because this is us doing best of, worst of, unpredictions review. For those of you that haven't seen our unpredictions this year, they are still piping hot over on Diginomica. I'll pop a link into the chat just so you can check those out. Hi, Thomas. Welcome. How you doing? Who is the director? I see what you're doing, trying to sow discord amongst us, Thomas. But it's not possible. We are co-directors. We are able to share the baton here. So nice try.
But I will applaud the effort because I like to do that to everybody else's podcast. Come in there and just totally derail things for the moderator.
Exactly. Yeah, it didn't look like my link went out, but hey, if you want to do a search on Diginomica and M Predictions 2025, it'll come right up. So, Alan, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you in the chat. Your favorite annual event? Wow, I'm not sure if the bar is high or low there, but we'll take it. So,
Very low.
So Brian, how the sausage is made. And by the way, if you hear dogs barking outside Brian's car, Brian is on a special holiday mission. Brian's potentially adopting a new German Shepherd today. That's the sort of secret headline of the event. Good luck with that, Brian.
Thanks. I'll take all the luck I can get. Appreciate it.
Indeed. So how the sausage is made for the M predictions. You know, a lot of stuff ends up on the cutting room floor, and we have some treats for you. And also, we thought we might want to revisit some of the real life predictions that inspire everything that we vent spleen on in this predictions column every year, because this is actually like, you know, the catharsis of dealing with all these like vacuous predictions. Oh, Alan narrowed it down a little bit. His favorite annual event on LinkedIn with John and Brian. Excellent. Now we're getting somewhere. And just to show you that the hits keep on coming, after we prepare this entire slide deck, Brian sends me an email yesterday because I recently did a big thing with Thomas on hyper personalization. Brian, you got a really nice hyper personalized email. I don't even have a screenshot of it, but
I felt so special when I opened the deal and it says, "Dear there." THERE. And I guess that's where someone's supposed to have put my name, or the software was supposed to do it. But anyway, I thought I was feeling terribly unpersonalized at that point. And then, John, you've got one from another Diginomica colleague that's equally stupid. And did we lose John? Well, for those, I guess I'm still in the show. John had one that another Diginomic contributor got, and it was, there it is.
I wound up back in the CRM player show. I don't know how that happened. That's really weird. Going to have to investigate that later. Yeah, I got, I shared one from Diginomica also that Derek Dupree's got that just said, hey, and then it was, hey, fallback, which I thought was really awesome. So we figured out that Derek was on the fallback recipient list for a piping hot story. So anyway, right. The era of hyper personalization continues to run into some awkward challenges. And Brian, with that, we should revisit our slides. Let me get those.
Yeah, let's get that back going. Yeah. And because, folks, we're going to really try and knock this out in 30 minutes or less, or else your unpredictions are free. So what do we got here, John, on PowerPoint?
Yeah, so here we go. For whatever reason, it decided to get rid of the file. One sec.
Well, I feel a
Please,
new
your call is
unprediction
very.
coming for next year that we won't be able to do this show
Yeah.
without about 20 gaffes in it. But go ahead.
Oh my lord. I don't know why that slide deck disappeared, but it's coming. Please continue to hold. So what we did is we picked out for y'all some on the cutting room floor. We actually have a couple of late breaking community contributions as well.
Yeah, we're also going to, we'll say a word about some of the categories and the process we go through. But John and I have been kicking around. We've done this now 9 years. We were thinking about doing sort of a best of show, and we'll give you a preview of what we think some of the best and worst are, including some things that actually came true, which just blows our mind away for all the stupidity that we try and whip into these things. That some of them actually come to pass. Let's go to the next slide, John. So this is
Okay.
why we do it.
Yeah.
We
So yeah, we actually these are real life predictions we received this year, and these are just like typical. This isn't even like extreme examples. These took all of like 2 minutes to compile. In
yeah,
2025, CAOs are expected to play an increasingly strategic role in organizations. What I don't know.
I got one this time last year that said 2024 is positively going to be the year of the cloud. And I'm like, really? They're only 20 years late on that prediction. But anyway, so this is the junk we get by the, I'm going to say shovelfuls in our inboxes of everyone's got a prediction. And most of them are either things that already happened or just blitheringly obvious. Anyway, keep going, John.
Yeah, that's it. If anyone has any that you would like to share that compete with these for their incisiveness, please do share them. Uh, we were definitely struck by the truly transformed customer experience that will be provided by agentic AI and retrieval augmented generation. So keep us posted when you feel that your experience has been transformed. Unfortunately, this won't be in time for your returning Christmas gifts over the holidays, but maybe by next year.
So we get this, and when we build these things, we have a bunch of different kind of categories, and this pie chart is not to scale, but you can at least get a glimpse of some of the bazillion categories we go at. And out of this, we're generating multiple different unpredictions in pretty much every single category. John likes to wield a scalpel, and he goes through and whacks a bunch of them he thinks just aren't snarky enough or whatever. And even at that, to get it down to just 20 that we're going to go with, and we've got 14 categories here, that's doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room. So we have to be very insightful, I guess, in the way that we decide which ones make the cut or not for the annual piece.
Quality is job one, Brian. But the thing is, a lot of times it's just a matter of space, and there's just only so many
Right.
that we want to put into one edition. So
And this is what happens when we go through the editing process. Someone might throw a fit if the other person didn't like their own prediction, so you can see all the destruction and everything else that can happen.
we also have to debate how much we want to do the inside baseball of poking fun at our fellow analyst contingent. So
Yeah.
this year, Holger's Red Shoes Diaries made the cut, and which is the second time actually that we've gone after Holger and his red shoes. The first time I think was in 2018, so we gave him a little bit of a breather there for a few years. Ray Wong didn't make the cut, but I suspect he's working on his avatar, so he'll be back with his GPT enabled hologram. I think pretty soon. Anyway, so we actually already have some additional predictions. We got one from George Lawton, who was disappointed we left augmented from the mix. So George, this one's for you. Systems integration firm extolling the virtues of augmenting rather than replacing subject matter experts augments its workforce into redundancy to drive increased efficiency and enhance the formerly employed experience. I love that. FEE, Brian. Do you think that would catch on in HR tech circles? I kind of like that.
The formerly employed experience. Oh yeah. And we got to talk about it in terms of something even vaguer, like as part of human capital. But anyway, all right. So that one's a nod back to George. We heard a lot from a lot of people, and as while John launches us into the missed ones here we go. I just want to thank everybody that did send some nice love our way on LinkedIn and other social media on the ones we did produce. So here's some of the ones that didn't make the cut. I'll take the first one here. Not to be outdone by Elon Musk's naming of Twitter to X, an adult website will create its all-new social network known as Triple X, featuring full opt-out integration with LinkedIn. Lawsuits will erupt, but social media will be changed forever. And it also brings new meaning to the term social disease. John, I think he thought that was a little too risque for the deal. Oh, unattached human capital. Alan, nice catch. We'll have to put that in the buzzword generator for next year.
I will say that I think opt-out is going to be a buzzword that we get chafed with a lot in the coming year. You're free to opt out, except maybe for facial recognition, where we are going to be opted in. Brian, we got an overused word in tech sales literature. Whilst.
I'm already seeing this, and I hate the word whilst because it's an archaic word, and some techno bro somewhere decided that we've got to bring this one back. And I'm like, no, let's leave it buried. But anyway, it may end up being something we're going to see a lot of next year for no valid reason at all.
Is whilst just like an attempt to keep something on the product list that otherwise you would have to abandon for AI because you can't keep it going otherwise? I don't know.
I think it's keeping an old on-prem product around because you can't get the customers to move. But anyway,
this was the first time the Las Vegas Admirals Club got a shout out, Brian.
Yeah, well,
have you actually been to the Las Vegas Admirals Club?
I don't even think they have one there. I know they have like a Centurion Lounge and a few other lounges, but if they have one, I haven't been there. But this unprediction that to avoid all the Formula One car racing traffic snarls, a major software vendor moves their user conference to the Vegas Admirals Club, gets hailed as the single greatest productivity boost in user conference history. For those who don't have to suffer through going to Vegas as many times, I know as I do every year, what that Formula One racing does there to screw up taxi rides, airport lines, and everything else is legendary. And I would much rather take a meeting at the Admirals Club in Vegas Airport than having to go all the way down to some strip hotel. Anyway,
something tells me the average attendee would object to your fantasy of not leaving the airport complex.
You saw that movie about me with George Clooney, right? Up in the Air. Yeah, that's it. I could stay the whole time at the airport. This one, I tried. For those of you who ever tried to reach out to a marketing or PR flack, and you'll see their contact information, everything is at the bottom of a press release. They've got emails.
Twitter that's handles. Usually I think there's one landline now where all the press release contacts go to.
And nobody answers.
Yeah, it's a voicemail. Yeah, it's an abandoned office complex somewhere with a phone in it.
Yeah.
Alan says the Admirals Club is his favorite competitive intelligence venue. Yeah, man, you get a couple of drinks in people in the admirable Admirals Club, and what could happen?
Yeah. Let's go to the next one.
Oh, and by the way, one of the reasons why this one didn't quite make the cut was I didn't feel like explaining to everyone Brian's Dr. Pepper related morale issues. But But I have advised various event planners that if you want Brian to ask one less acerbic question than usual, like 5 instead of 6, maybe have some Dr. Pepper handy, and it actually does work. Oh, here's a
This
new
was,
vocabulary term that you and I had some back and forth about.
yeah, John and I went all over the place on this servant leadership. I won't tell you what the original version was, but John thought I was being too mean on people who are who serve us in our everyday kind of life. But this one, just servant leadership, it's what you call a former .com CEO who now works as a butler. I'll go ahead and admit, I thought it was funnier as someone who now, a CEO who now works as a barista. But John thought I was picking on Starbucks. And I'm like, I don't get it.
Well,
I
I know
didn't
I didn't.
understand.
Okay, so just for clarity, I didn't. It wasn't Starbucks. It was the whole notion that baristas are servants. I didn't really like that implication very much in the potential reader's eye. That was it. But this is how the sausage is made, folks. We have to think about these things, and you know, and to be honest, Brian, this was the hardest cut for me because I can't stand the phrase servant leadership. Uh, if we could like flush
You need
that
to catch more
phrase,
HR briefings, and then you'll really be
if we
disgusted hearing that.
and by the way, no one skewers the servant leadership buzz phrases as well as the TV show Succession. If anyone has seen that, if you haven't, you don't like the phrase servant leadership, watch that one. So yeah, we probably could have resolved that with more revisions back and forth, but that's what happens in the unprediction sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, Alan wants to tell you something. He says American Airlines serves Dr. Pepper. So
That's absolutely correct. And
yeah,
every time I'm on some other airline and they go, "What would you like to drink?" And I go, "Well, what I'd like is a Dr. Pepper. What I'll settle for is like a Coca-Cola, whatever."
another
Once,
runner-up.
yeah, that's and back to an earlier point, we did have agentic and augmented. We had things for those. They just didn't make the cut. This is one on. We had a new word for the new buzzword for next year called secret agentic AI, and that's what you call the workflow AI that the CIA uses. And but it didn't make the cut. Sad to say.
It happens. Look, we did cover off Agentic. I mean, how could you not? In fact, one of the things on there was the allergentic, the conference attendee who is allergic to further discussions of agentic AI. Uh,
This one is
you
in the
know,
absurd category.
Brian. I think I think if we could have gotten away with the graphic, we could have kept this one in because that's really a keeper. Uh, where did you make that? What the hell is that?
No, this is
That's
your
awesome.
Microsoft Copilot, Bing, or whatever at your service. I just asked for a picture of Commander data, and that's what
Mm.
came up. Um,
No
I guess that's
copyright violations here. We got express permission to use that, right, Brian?
well,
Anyway,
it's in
yeah,
the Commons, and I left the
excellent.
attribution right down there at the bottom.
Oh, good job, good job.
Mm. All right, let's get one. Let's
Well,
see
actually,
any more
let's
buzzword.
read this in case I issue this as a podcast.
Yeah, so this buzzword was data observability. And that's what happens when websites track Star Trek Next Generation's Commander Data's browser history. That's data observability. And then we had
Ah,
one
yeah, we
popped
already
up
have a
on
new
your,
one.
yeah.
We got a new one.
Well, this was, you were on a deal with CRM Players deal with Brent, I believe, a week or so ago. And this came up in the conversation, and I think you guys are trying to take this one all the way, through 2026.
Hyperimposition at scale. What failed attempts at hyper personalization really feel like for the recipient. Somehow I think Brent Leary we're going to be revisiting that catchphrase this
I
year.
got the best picture I could of him, though. It's the only one where he's not wearing a sports team hat. Anyhow, so We do all this all the time because we have the buzzword generator, the meme generator in with the unpredictions, and we're already hearing new words for 2026. For
I like
those of you
I
just
like
listening,
totalize.
yeah, I mean, here, we have four of them here. We've got rememberizing. I actually saw that. Somebody's trying to get some traction with it. Then there's totalize that John just mentioned. Takeoff on the hyperimposition at scale is hyperinquisition at scale. And then this last one, again, what is it with these tech bros going back to like old English and they're putting in their bespeaks? I mean, who puts that in any kind of marketing copy but something bespeaks stupidity? Anyway, it's there.
And let me just get clear on something too here, Brian. Now, Hyper Inquisition at scale was Brent Leary off the cuff riffing, but these other ones are for real, right? Like,
Yeah, they've. I can find you sources for people that have tried to slip these in. So
yeah.
yeah.
Anyhow, we're definitely gonna totalize our
Oh,
show
I'm
in
totalizing
2025.
the whole movement on it. But anyway,
Yeah.
whatever that means.
Enough with this partializing. We got to totalize if we want to really deliver for customers. We're gonna do our favorite. Oh, right, we have our favorite. So here's this other piece of it. We've done this since 2018, and that's a lot of unpredictions. So we thought we really need to do like a best of show, but we decided to push that to next year. So because we really want to comb through all of them and with a fine tooth comb, and we didn't do that this time. So, but what we did do is we picked for y'all five of our favorites. And man, you found some photos I haven't seen in a while either.
Yeah. So here they are. Number one, some clever vendor will attempt to have Alexa deliver an entire TED Talk as a keynote. It works great until it asks Siri to advance the slide. That came out in 2018. And that I think is a John Reed unprediction there. And when I first read it all those years ago, I died laughing. And I still think it's one of the funniest ones out there. And sadly, it's probably going to happen. I'm waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like maybe we advanced too far on that one from a technical standpoint, but anyway.
Why don't you take the second one, John? We'll alternate.
Vendors back away from the term immersive experience after rumors surface of users drowning in their own data lakes from 2019. Ouch.
Yeah, that's another one of those where I just laughed and laughed and laughed because I could see some stupid.
Alan says B speaks is bespoke jargon. Yeah.
Yes, it is, Alan. You're right on the money. Good catch.
Alan, speak when be spoken to.
So number three, for their next reimagined virtual event experience, a software vendor inadvertently note again. It takes several days before anybody notices the mistake, and that was a 2021 unprediction. I thought that one actually had some real potential and charm in there as well.
Yeah, I think
and sadly, I just see that happen.
Yeah, I think the rough thing is I don't think we really advance very much on reimagined virtual event experiences. That's a topic we're going to have to revisit during a more serious podcast on how events are failing. The next one. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know they could rerun the script for keynotes at shows where they are talking about how they're going to finally migrate all the old on-premises customers to the cloud. Because I've only seen that movie and through about 6,000 reruns. It's the same story every time. But anyway, go ahead. Tell us number four.
Sam says drown in their own data lakes. He liked that one. Hi, Sam.
Yep.
Nice
Thank
to
you, Sam.
see you. I picked a couple from last year's. That's as far back as I got before I just started cracking up, and then I sent these along. A vendor suspends an analyst from their analyst program after discovering the analyst sent their bot to an online briefing. The analyst bot asked a timely question about AI deepfakes, but was later exposed as a bot when it told the vendor the slide deck was fantastic and amazing. By the way, that's a giveaway that the analyst is using a bot, is if they praise the slide deck that they're watching. Little did that vendor know that Ray Wong had already attended their last user conference in Las Vegas in the form of a GPT-4 multimodal hologram. So there's Ray. He made the cut last year, and then finally, Brian, we have one more.
Controversy erupts when a vendor's confidential org chart shows a direct correlation between org hierarchy and the number of times an employee has liked or shared the CEO's post on LinkedIn.
Ouch.
Solid there. That is so solid. And I know a couple of analysts who are guilty of this. Same thing with saying that somebody's presentation was really like fantastic and amazing to the prior point. Yeah, those are. I don't think you and I will ever get called on those points, but
ouch.
That's
welcome
a good one.
Welcome to LinkedIn, everybody. Yeah, good luck surfacing a meaningful conversation in the midst of the org chart maneuvering. But if you succeed, let us know. In fact, we have a few people on the chat here today that are pretty darn good at actually sparking a real conversation on LinkedIn, including Alan, Thomas, and Sam. So I'm glad there's a few people out there that can inject a little bit of meaning into my notification stream. Thanks, guys. That's always a pleasure to see that in my timeline, as opposed to best news about our latest AI announcement. Oh, here we go again. Anyhow, we're almost on the tail end. We promised, Brian, a half an hour, and we're going to deliver on that promise.
Yep. And as always,
you found an old picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. It was you and I at the Acumatica conference. Somebody here needs to get thanked for their leadership. Thank you for your leadership, John. And
well, you're really the one that pulled this off under like remote duress with only a couple of small glitches in the stream. So that's pretty impressive achievement. So I'm gonna have to hand that baton back to y'all. But
no, but we really want. But here's the deal, John. We really want everyone listening in when you're with family and friends over the holidays in the next few days. You want to take the time to thank somebody for their turkey dinner as well as for their leadership. Spread that leadership meme everywhere you can, because John, your favorite phrase until this year was leadership, and now it's trenchant, and we have to make sure that we get trenchant in on this. It's part of the new rules for 2025 and 26 and whatever. So that's really it for us.
Indeed, and I would just say to everyone in the chat and who's also watching, we really appreciate your sort of passionate participation in our month in review shows and engaging with us around this content. We're really trying to create a different kind of way of thinking about the enterprise that includes having a little more fun with everything, but hopefully digging deeper into the issues, which is not obviously what we're trying to do today. But we really wanted to do something a little more breezy and fun
today.
No, but we really do appreciate that, because when we do this show, we know that a big part of it is you all. So we're thankful that you're with us on this journey to try to get to the bottom of stuff, because at the end of it is a customer or a buyer that's trying to do something good and they need a lot of help, and let's do that in the next year as well. But in the meantime, everyone is forgiven for tuning out for a couple of weeks and doing something fun. Thanks, Alan, and great to see you back in the stream there. and Sam as well, on leadership indeed. Maybe leadership, and we'll come back as a verb, who knows, but we shall see.
On leadership. All righty. Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye, all. Catch you later.